Hey guys, bringing you this energy on this lovely Thursday morning. How are you, Lindsie?
I am good. How are you this morning?
It's been pure chaos out here in these this neck of the woods, to be honest.
When is it not?
Honestly, yeah, you're right. Because you guys all know that I do 50-50 custody with the kids, but this week Joe is traveling, so I have Isaac and I have Lux because Chris is working nights. So, the babysitter came here and Lux just wasn't, I've never podcasted at home with the babysitter here. So, Lux wasn't having it. But we're good now. We're recording. We're here.
We've shown up.
I've shown up in my sweats and no bra, but we're here.
Oh my gosh. Well, how was your travels back home from this weekend?
Travels back home were okay. Somebody asked me in the TSA, going through TSA, if I was related to Kyle Lowry. And I think I did a really job convincing them that I was his wife.
If you were his wife and
yes,
you're filming on Teen Mom, then we need to talk.
But maybe they didn't know I was on Teen Mom, so they didn't know.
Oh my gosh. People are just so weird. Like I'm telling you.
Like, how would I be related to Kyle Lowry?
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
He's my second cousin's child by marriage, twice removed, and that's why I'm flying coach and on Teen Mom.
The fact that you said that's why I'm flying coach. Like,
honestly, like, I wouldn't be here if I was his wife. Anyway, how was the rest of your stay in Chattanooga?
It was good. We after you left, I went in and took a nap for like 2 hours, and Will watched a movie. I'm not sure if he slept or like what exactly was going on in my room. I don't really care. But then we went to eat Mexican at Taco Mama and then went and got ice cream at Clumpy's, came back and went to bed. So it was pretty relaxing, but it was so rainy and dreary.
Honestly, but those are like the most comfy. Those are the most comfortable days. Like when you're just like chilling, you eat. I'm actually really jealous. When you texted me and said that you went to Taco Mama, I was really, really jealous. And like, I thought about every decision I had made up until that point because it was just chaos my flight was supposed to go out on Saturday, but our photo shoot ran late. None of us got up. And
wait, let's back up. Let's back up for a second because I thought on Saturday morning that Kail was already doing hair and makeup. So I was like, oh, okay, she's probably already started because all of the makeup person's stuff was in Kail's room, like left overnight.
Oh, right. Well, because I told her, I said she could just leave it in my room so she wouldn't have to bring it back in the morning.
So Kail texts me and she's like, are you already getting ready? And I'm thinking to myself, Kail, the shit's in your room. Like, why would I be getting ready?
So long story short, our photo shoot ran late. But I was about to say, how freaking cute was that hotel?
It was so cute. I was so shocked how cute it was, honestly.
So we stayed at the Moxie in Chattanooga, and it was so freaking cute. I had a double room, so the beds were basically like, I don't know how to describe it. I guess where your head would go was up against each other, separated by this like really cool like headboard.
Headboard
type of thing. I would call it a sex swing, but I don't know how the hotel would feel about that. So, I loved it. I thought the hotel was so cool. Like there was a ton of areas in the lobby. Like, when you go down in a normal hotel, like there might be one or two sections of the lobby, but it's like kind of super plain and your business is all out there. Like I felt like the Moxie there was like foosball, pool, just like a couch to like lounge. There was a bar, snacks. I saw there was like a little candy jar on the bar, and I got a bunch of the Sour Patch Kids. And then in the back there was like an office room. Like it was so cool. I loved it.
It was definitely like an entertainer's hotel. Like it was for entertainment. So I thought it definitely fit our weekend for the Christmas party. And everything was pretty much perfect and went off without a hitch, surprisingly.
So we had our Christmas party at Juliet's Beauty Lounge in Chattanooga, which was like a block from our hotel. So convenient. And all the food was so good. I actually snuck in the back and was like eating snacks because like all the catering, because not anybody came to, we were opening the doors at 7 and I didn't want to eat the food that was out because it was for like everybody. So I snuck in the back room and I started eating like the extra snacks.
Kail was sitting on the couch in the back room and Will and I were in the back with Kail trying to take Polaroids, and Kail was eating sleeves of tacos.
They were buffalo chicken poppers. And they had these, like, little syringe-looking things to, like, inject the ranch into them. It was so cool. And then, what are they called? Pork rinds?
Pork rinds?
Or no.
I didn't see those.
It was, like, with the bacon on them.
Oh. Like twice-baked potato skins?
Yes. Oh, my God. Those were so good. And the cake. Okay, first of all, we cut the cake because essentially the Christmas party was like our 1 year for the podcast celebration. And we cut the cake like we were bride and groom. And I was the groom. And I placed the cake into Lindsay's mouth and she held it over my face. And I was like, okay, if I trust Lindsie to place this in my mouth, she's going to shove it all over my face.
But did I?
So, no, you didn't. But I definitely thought that you were going to. So that was definitely a trust test for sure.
Honestly, if it wasn't a trust test, I would have put it on your face.
Oh, for sure.
I was so surprised of the turnout from the party. Super surprised to meet so many people from different walks of life that listen. We had a variety of people, moms, people who aren't moms yet, people who are in the military, just such a variety.
That were in the Army they drove from Kansas.
And then there was another group of women who drove like 12 or 13 hours.
Yeah, that's them.
No, this was a whole different group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was a whole different, this other group was a group of moms that drove like 12 or 13 hours, and she did it as her birthday celebration with her girlfriends. And I just loved talking to so many different people from different walks of life. And to the mom that I talked to that says that she copies all of my Elf on the Shelf ideas, that she waits until I post them and then she does the exact ones. You know what? You're the real MVP because you're smart. Like, you just copy somebody else's idea and you don't sit down and just like have to think about things on your own. So I love hearing that. But the thing that I heard most from the party that resonated with me the most was I spoke to a woman that told me that hearing my story with Will helped save her marriage, and that she was on the brinks of walking out, and she heard that episode and she was like, maybe I shouldn't throw the towel in. So
good. Awesome.
Whoever you were, I know who you are, but I don't want to say your name on the podcast. Definitely fight for your marriage because you have kids that are involved, and if it can be fixed, then try to fix it. If it's past the point of repair, then at that point you look at other avenues. But if it's things that are small, just like, like small bickering, it's definitely worth it. And I feel like I am a poster child for try to fix your marriage.
I always say, like, if you're going to walk away, at least you walk away knowing that you tried everything that you could to make it work.
Right. Versus just like throwing the towel in and being like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
And I do feel like you did that.
I mean, we tried. Yeah, I would say so. I also feel like the circumstances, the show, it adds different, just filming, the media, tabloids, all of that adds completely different elements to an average, I don't want to say average, that sounds horrible, but you get what I'm trying to say. So it was slightly different. But yeah, I mean, I'm still an advocate for fighting for your marriage. I mean, I definitely agree with all that. So shopping for the kids is easy and your friends is a piece of cake, but buying a perfect gift for the guys in your life is where things get a little bit tricky. But this year, you can give the perfect gift with a little help from Man Crates.
Man Crates knows what guys like, and they have hundreds of unique quality gifts that he's guaranteed to love. Like the Grill Master Crate for the king of the barbecue with a cast iron smoker box and a brass knuckle meat tenderizer, or the knife making kit where he can build his own high quality stainless steel knife. I just ordered the Slumberjack crate and it was super cute. It's a great holiday gift, and they also have other cute holiday themed gifts as well. Most gifts ship in a sealed wooden crate with a crowbar, so he gets to pry his Man Crate open in front of everyone.
With Man Crates, you're giving him more than a gift. You're giving him a gift experience that you'll remember. And every Man Crate comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Listeners to this show buy one gift and you will get a second one for 25% off when you go to mancrates.com/coffee. This offer is only for the holidays when you buy one gift and get a second for 25% off at mancrates.com/coffee. That's mancrates.com/coffee. I met a girl who was telling me about her mom and how she listened to the episode talking about my mom, and I basically was telling her how some people that I know are okay with their parents being addicts or alcoholics, and they know how to put up with it and they're there for them no matter what. But for me specifically, I couldn't do that and be the best mom and person that I can be while taking on my mom's problems and being a parent for her. So she was telling me how she could relate in that aspect. And it kind of made me feel good because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how I could cut off, quote unquote, someone who needs me. So I kind of felt good knowing that helped her.
Yeah, and I mean,
like someone
I think
could relate.
With your parents and stuff, it's not like your mom's of old age and she needs you because she can't like get around or whatever. These are life choices that she's making that you weren't comfortable with as a child, and you knew that whenever you were old enough to get away from it, that you wouldn't support those life decisions. So this is a totally different ballgame.
Right. Like, I can't help someone who doesn't really want to help themselves. Like, I can't force her into rehab when she's not asking to go to rehab.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, just changing gears really quickly, I want to talk about how this was my first time meeting Will, and I love him. Like, I'm obsessed with him. He's great. Like, he's so funny to me, and I can't really pinpoint one reason why he's so funny, but I just think he's hysterical, and the dynamics just like watching you guys is so hilarious.
We're like the oddest, not oddest couple.
Right. It like doesn't make sense, but it completely makes sense.
Yeah. And Will like is funny sometimes, but sometimes some of the stuff that he says, I'm just like, okay, you just need to go to bed. Like, you just need to go to sleep. Like, you don't need to continue talking. Like, you have just talked yourself in circles. And at this point, I'm no longer interested in the BS that's going to come out of your mouth. Like, I'm done with it for the day.
Lindsie we were in my room. I think, Lindsie, you might have been getting your makeup done, and your room, so Lindsay's room was like pretty much directly across the hall. And she's like, hey, Kail, can you go, I think it was get the dog.
No, it was to give Will beer.
Oh, it was to give Will. Okay, I knew it was something. So she's like, hey, Kail, can you go give this to Will? And I'm like, sure. So I knock on the door, and I don't know what I'm going to get. Like, is he going to judge me for being white trash, or is he going to be really nice and not really give a fuck who I am? So he opens the door, and the first thing I said to him was like, oh my God, you look like Jackson. Like, I literally thought I was looking at the grown size version of Jackson. Like, that was the literal first thing that came out of my mouth.
And I hate that. Like,
do you look at Jackson and you're like, this is Will? And do you look at Will and you're like, this is Jackson?
Yes, but also I hate when people say it because it makes me feel like I'm not validated. And I feel like...
You're not... Will made that baby by himself.
Yeah, I'm like, I just carried him. I mean...
Right.
That's...
You were just the vessel of his...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But
okay.
yeah, looks pretty much identical.
I was blown away because, like, I've seen pictures of Will, but I guess it doesn't really. I think to me, Will looks different in person. Like maybe it's like putting, I don't know how to describe it, but he's great. I think he's funny. And I love the part when we were leaving the party and he carried you on his back. So that was really nice.
No, you missed the whole front part of that scenario. I was the only person that was wearing the type of heels that I was wearing all night. And I'd been wearing them for so long. And I was just finally like, okay, I think the circulation is cut off on my toes. And so I went up to Will and he was drinking with another buddy. And I was like, hey, I need to ask you this before I start like taking these babies off. Like, are you going to carry me out of here because I can't walk barefoot? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, like, I need you to carry me wherever we're going because I cannot walk anymore in these shoes. And he's like, honestly, oh my God. So then he agreed.
What I was thinking? Well, yeah, and it was cute. I hope someone got a cute picture of that. I actually was thinking about you on my way home when I was flying because I was like, wow, like she was a real trooper. Like you kept those heels on all night. And I'm like, celebrities really walk around in heels all the time. Like not all the time, but like they are probably so used to it. And I'm like, how? Like, how do you get used to wearing a heel for that long? Like you see like the paparazzi pictures of like Kim Kardashian wearing heels like with her kids and like who would just wear them just to wear them?
No, like I would have flip-flops in my bag and like keep changing them out because I can't, like my toes will hurt so bad. But you were talking about the story about Will acting like the nipple, like he knew about the nipple color.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Kim did our hair and makeup for the Coffee Convos Christmas party and, she was looking for a lip color for me and I was like, oh, like this one looks like my nipple color. Like this is perfect. So we hear Will from the room part of the hotel room and he's like, yeah, I heard that before. And Lindsie was like, I told you that. Like who else would you hear that from? Why would anyone be telling Will about a nipple color matching your lip color?
Exactly. Like who is this girl? And why is she talking about that? Goodbye. Goodbye.
Like, obviously you heard that from your wife. What do you mean?
Like, who is he?
It was so funny. Like, he was really cuddling Della. And, like, first of all, you didn't even tell me you were bringing your dog. So okay, let me backtrack. We walk into the hotel, and the Moxie really, like, went all out for us in our room. And there was these really cool... Well, in my room, I had a unicorn stuffed animal, and it was so cute. And I thought that when Lindsie said, I have to take out my dog, she asked security to take out her dog. I thought that she meant the big-ass stuffed animal that was in the room. Like, I'm talking, it was life-size stuffed animals. So she's like, asking the security to take out the dog, and I'm thinking that she meant for him to take out the stuffed animal, and it was an actual living dog. Like, I never got a text from Lindsie saying, hey, Kail, I'm bringing Della. So... I was so confused. So when security comes back up and has a dog, like a live one, I was #confused.
Speaking of dogs, I didn't
even know Will was coming. Time out. You didn't even tell me Will was coming. So where was the communication? Obviously I'm excited. I got to meet your whole freaking family. Well, minus Jackson, but I'm like, frick yeah. Like I get to meet Will. I get to meet Della, but like, was that a surprise? Like, I don't get it.
No, Kail, I just obviously was a horrible communicator that week, okay? Like, obviously, okay? Now everybody knows that I communicated one time horribly, okay?
One time.
Do you guys love discovering new products? Are you a beauty and fashion maven constantly on the hunt for the next best thing? You must try FabFitFun. FabFitFun allows women everywhere to discover new products and must-have brands that you know and love. For me, the appeal is mostly how everything is seasonally relevant and having the opportunity to try full-size bottles. I love getting these products because I don't have to go to the store and try to find new things.
So FabFitFun, as you know, is a seasonal subscription box delivered 4 times a year with full-size fashion, beauty, home, fitness, and wellness products for $49.99 a box. I love FabFitFun because I feel like I always get a chance to try products that I wouldn't necessarily think to get at the store on my own. So I get to try them in the box, and then if I love it, which I usually do, I can go and I'm aware of what kind of products to get. So FabFitFun is a fantastic value. Many products' individual value is more than the entire cost of the box. So you can customize your box by choosing some products, add-ons with each box, or be surprised with each one.
Sign up for FabFitFun today. FabFitFun boxes make amazing gifts for the holidays. Use our code COFFEE to get $10 off of your first box. Go to fabfitfun.com to sign up and start getting the box for a life well lived. Use promo code COFFEE to get $10 off your first box. That's over $200 for only $39.99. Go to fabfitfun.com and use our code COFFEE to get $10 off your first FabFitFun box. Let's get back to the show. Can we just talk about, while we're on the subject of dogs, on Saturday morning, whenever we were shooting for the sweater collection, Arnold, who styles me for certain stuff, was with me coming back upstairs to my room to change clothes. And I get off of the elevator and I see this like taller man. And then I see these two dogs in front of him and they're not on a leash. So let's just back up for a second, because I was attacked by a dog in 5th grade and it was a border collie, and absolutely terrified of dogs that even like look like them. So like Australian shepherds, not
which
a
is
thing.
Crazy. Because I was telling you, a border collie saved my life. Like I was drowning and my babysitter's border collie Ginger literally pulled me out of the water by my bathing suit. I didn't know they were vicious.
Nuts. Well, maybe it was just like this specific dog. Like I'm not saying like the breed is bad. I'm just saying like that's what I was attacked by. So anytime I see dogs that resemble like that type of look, I get terrified. And so these dogs were Australian shepherds, but kind of resemble like the, small, like the small border collie look. And I'm like, okay, kind of fucking scared because these dogs are not on a leash. And this man is like way behind them. These dogs start charging Arnold and I, and Arnold freezes. I'm frozen. And I'm like, oh my God, these dogs are going to attack me. I don't know what to do. Like they're going to rip my pants off. Like I don't know what to do. So they stop. The man like gets them to stop, and I look like I've seen a ghost probably. And the man looks at me and says, act like you've seen a dog before.
You didn't tell me that part.
I'm like, okay, act like I've seen a dog before. Yeah, I've seen a dog before.
People are terrified of dogs. It happens. People get attacked by dogs. People are scared of dogs. That's a real thing. Why would you act like that? And why would you be in a public place, especially a hotel, with no fucking leash on your dog?
That's what I said. I said, you know what? I have seen a dog before on a leash. And he looked at me like I was crazy. Okay, so let's like back up. So I'm watching like the Moxie's Instagram story, and I see that there's a blogger there that has these two dogs that was down the hall from us. And it was her boyfriend who said it to me.
You're going to have to text me the blogger because I did not know.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, that's cute. That's real cute. Like, first of all, you don't know my life story or anything that, like, could lead me to be afraid of dogs. And then you're going to say, act like you've seen a dog before? No, I think I'll pass.
Well, and the thing is, too, like, that's an issue in itself. But also, if this blogger has a boyfriend that's traveling with her and stuff, he is a reflection of her.
Exactly.
So, if you're trying to be a professional blogger and, you want to have a certain image or whatever that you're trying to portray, then your boyfriend needs to act accordingly.
Well, and, like, be nice to people. Like, you could just be like, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I apologize. My dogs aren't on a leash. That would have been the end of it.
So, you guys all know, well, you probably know, I have a Rottweiler, and he has never came aggressive to any of my children whatsoever. However, hearing about dog attacks and stuff like that. Like when I wasn't as concerned when I had Lincoln for some reason. I think because I just wasn't as aware. But now that I have Lux, like I'm very careful. I won't even leave my own dogs by themselves with my kids. So imagine if there was kids in that elevator and he had the dogs. You know what I mean? Like not all dogs are okay with children.
Jackson probably would have had a panic attack.
That's really crazy.
Because these dogs were like hauling ass down the hallway. Like I couldn't even hardly see. It was like a flash, you know, like you could just like see hair. That's all you could see coming at you. And it was like two of them side by side and it looked like twins.
But what if there was another dog and another dog wasn't good with other dogs? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
There's just like so many different scenarios that could be played here.
Right.
But I just wanted to, you know, bring that up. The fact that it's just rude. Like some people are just so stinking rude. I'm just like, why would that be like the first thing you would say to somebody? Like act like you've seen a dog before.
I hate people.
So same.
Okay, you guys, have you heard about this company making flats from recycled plastic water bottles? Because if you haven't, they're insanely comfortable and stylish. You guys know it's Rothy's, and Rothy's shoes are stylish, sustainable, and comfortable enough for everyday wear anywhere.
Rothy's is the everyday flat for life on the go. It's stylish, classic, comfortable, and comes in 4 fashionable styles: the flat, the point, the loafer, for women and girls. And they just recently launched the sneaker, which is my favorite. It will blow your mind that they're made from recycled plastic water bottles because they are the softest shoe that you'll ever put on your feet, and you can feel good about wearing them.
My favorite is the navy sneaker. I love the gray ones and the navy ones. The style is just super sleek. It goes with any outfit, super casual. I love them.
I love my Rothy's, and I know that you will too. Right now, Rothy's has an amazing deal for our listeners. Use promo code COFFEE to get free shipping, no minimum. That's free shipping and free returns and exchanges on your Rothy's shoes. And trust me, you won't want to return them.
Go to rothys.com and enter code COFFEE to get your cute shoes and free shipping. This is a no-brainer. Shoes that are comfortable, stylish, and sustainable. Did we mention free shipping? Go get yourself a pair today. Rothys.com, promo code COFFEE to get this deal while it lasts.
Can we just talk about Jackson going on a field trip to the assisted living?
Yes, I need to hear about this. It's today or it's tomorrow?
It's today.
Are you excited? Are you going with? Are you a chaperone?
Yes. So I am helicopter parent, so obviously definitely going with. One, just because of safety purposes, but two, just because I want to experience it with him. I have always been a super fan of the elderly. Like I have a super soft spot for them. And so I love doing stuff like that and just like being around them, because I feel like elderly people are so wise in life, and some of the conversations that you have with them, it like really puts life into perspective. And I don't know, I just love it. So Jackson has kind of been preparing for this field trip, and it's the first field trip that he will ever go on and the only field trip of the year. So he's like, well, once we go on this field trip, are we doing another one? I'm like, no, this is it. Like, this is the only field trip. So I was kind of explaining to him about assisted living and why they go there, you know, and he's like, oh, okay, so it's like old people. So he's like, it's the old folks home is what he's been calling it. I'm like, no, it's assisted living. And he's like, yeah, the old folks home. I'm like, okay. So we had to go to Target and we bought like Christmas themed socks for men, and then Christmas themed socks for some women, and then candies. And like the letter that came home said that they prefer like mints and chocolates were like their favorite things. So we got like several bags of candy and, you know, socks, whatever. So Jackson went to school with his backpack loaded up today and super excited about going on this field trip. So last night when Will tucks him in, he reads to him. And that's like their thing that they do, read and do sight words before bed. So they're doing this, and Jackson starts asking Will about what would he be doing at the old folks home. And Will's like trying to explain to him. And then Jackson's like, well, can you like give me some ideas about things to say? So Jackson's really, really into this. And so Will's like, yeah, I mean, if you see, you know, somebody that's like a veteran or somebody talks about how they would be in the war, and I'm thinking to myself, Will, nobody's going to tell a child that's 5 years old that they fought in a war, but like maybe.
They might.
So
they might.
Will's like, you know, you would shake that person's hand and say, thank you for your service, and ask them, like, do they have grandchildren? And Jackson goes, oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I can ask them if they have grandchildren. And Will's like playing the other person. So he's like playing the old person. And he's like, yeah, I have grandchildren. They're 16 years old. And Jackson's like, oh, well, that's really old. So as this is all going on, I just want to back up a little bit, because before we left for Disney, we didn't know when we went on our trip, because Will's dad kept it a secret. But their bloodhound passed away right before we had left to go to Disney. I think it was like the night before. And he didn't tell Will's mom about it until she got back from Disney. So it was like the day before Thanksgiving, I think she found out that she had passed away. And they live on a lot of land. So Will's mom said that his dad like went missing, and she like tried to text him and he didn't respond. And it was like hours later that he responded, and she was like, where are you? What are you doing? And he was like, I'm relaxing, but really he was digging her grave. And so sad. And so we told Jackson about it before we left for Chattanooga, because we didn't want to put them in a situation with him going out there for the weekend for him to ask about the dog and then have to like explain that. We felt as parents that that's something that, you know, we should do and not put them in an uncomfortable situation, or not know how to answer the question the way we would want it to be answered. So, you know, we kind of break the news that she's passed away, and he's like, well, she's in heaven. Like, what's dog heaven like? And blah, blah. Well, so Will tells Jackson that when you get old, that's when you go to heaven.
Oh, my God. Mm-hmm.
So as all of this stuff with the old folks home is playing out, Jackson says, oh, yeah, I'm going to the old folks home and I'm going to get to see Lily, which is the bloodhound.
Oh,
and I'm like, okay, whoa.
No.
We're not going to dog heaven. Like, these people are alive. Like, they're not dead. So, I'm just trying to like figure out his mindset of like what he thinks he's going into. You know what I mean? Like, I can't quite figure out what he's thinking. I think he's very confused. I think he's very confused about the assisted living and like why you go there and it's like not your house. I think he's confused about like why it's like a bunch of old people like at one place.
Yeah, I could see why that would be confusing. I don't think I ever remember going to an assisted living for a field trip. My kids have never done that. So I'm actually confused about the field trip.
Well, so Jackson goes to a Christian school. So I think that this is a bit different of a situation. This is more about, you know, like they go and spend time with these people one time a year at Christmas time, because a lot of these people's families probably don't come or see them at this time of the year. So they take the young children that are kindergarten age over to the assisted living that's by the school to socialize with them and to gift them cozy socks and candy. So, you know, I really like that cute idea, and mainly because I love...
Do they sing?
Yes, they do sing. And they all have like class t-shirts that have like cute little like things on them that the teacher made for them. So it's super cute. I'm really excited, and I'll keep everybody updated on how it went. I'm just totally praying that Jackson does not like say anything about heaven or...
I mean, at least you'll have a story to tell for the next podcast if he does.
Yeah. So I'm just like, please, Lord. All right, guys, we want to talk about skincare for a second. Your face is often your first impression and shows off everything it takes in. So feed it well. Treat it with products that are 100% vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free, and artificial fragrance-free, like BioClarity. BioClarity helps fight breakouts, soothe skin, minimize redness, reduce pore size, and even skin tone. You can get results with Garden Lush ingredients in as little as 2 weeks. I love BioClarity because I feel like it travels so well. The bottles are small, very simple to use, and as I've said before, if you have not tried the body wash, it's amazing.
One thing that I love most is that it's so hydrating. As I told you, I use the clear skin routine and I use a mask to just kind of keep it extra moisturized. I love BioClarity. Just makes my skin feel super fresh and clean, and I love it.
So get started on healthier habits with your skincare. Just go to bioclarity.com. Now, when our listeners purchase a skincare routine, they will get a free clarifying mask with their order. That's a $24.95 value for free. Plus, shipping is always free. It comes with a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee, but you need to enter our code COFFEE, a full skincare routine and free clarifying mask when you use our code COFFEE. That's bioclarity.com and enter our code COFFEE. And speaking of Christmas, there was a question that I wanted to ask you that somebody else also asked, and it made me think of it.
Okay.
Since you don't do Santa, do you do the Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy?
No.
You don't?
I don't do it. No. I mean, Tooth Fairy, I tried the Tooth Fairy, but since we don't do Santa and we don't do the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy was not really, it wasn't a hit in our house. Like, it wasn't, like I give them money, but they know it doesn't come from the Tooth Fairy.
Right. Kail.
So, I know I'm just ripping my kids of childhood, shit. But I don't know. I don't feel like my kids are like, I'm not against it. I'm not like, if y'all's kids believe in that stuff, like I'm so happy because I did when I was a kid. But I think just the way that things played out and with like the blended families and the different traditions of the blended families, it just didn't work out that way. But it's fine. Like it was really fine. Yeah. So we don't do that. I'll slip like, $5 under the pillow for teeth, but for Isaac, but we don't do the Easter Bunny or any of that. I don't do Easter at all. So, and I don't remember Javi's family ever doing Easter. I think Joe's family might've done like a dinner or something, but we don't do Easter. So, okay. And again, I'm not against it. We just don't do it.
Yeah. See, I do all of the above. Well, I mean, Jackson hasn't lost.
Well, you guys
any
are
teeth.
super Christian. Also,
you said, and those are
super
like Christian.
You guys I know Easter. Like I don't even know. We don't. I don't know. I never did Easter growing up, so that was probably a thing from my family. My grandparents did the Tooth Fairy for me because I was always with my grandparents when I lost my teeth for whatever reason. I don't think Javi's family does Easter. I don't remember. I truly don't remember.
Well,
actually,
Jackson hasn't lost any teeth to do the Tooth Fairy, but I know that we will do it because he already knows about the Tooth Fairy from like books and stuff. So,
right.
Obviously, like,
yeah, there's this really cute printout that I tried with Isaac for the Tooth Fairy. It's like you lost your first tooth and it like says the date and it's like a little note that you can put with the money. And I tried that, but Isaac just like he didn't care. But we should also just put a link for the Tooth Fairy note that I found and I printed out for him just for other people who definitely do the Tooth Fairy because it is cute. It's like a little certificate.
Well, obviously it's a thing that I would do. Like I do the elf and Santa and
Pinterest mom, and I'm the not Pinterest mom. So I'll send you the link for the little certificate because Lincoln hasn't lost teeth yet either.
I think Jackson will probably be like 12 before he loses a tooth because he didn't get teeth. Like he didn't get his first tooth until after he was a year old.
But that's good though. That's actually a good thing.
But all of his friends are losing teeth, and Jackson's like, is something wrong? Like, I have not lost any teeth. And he tries to like say like his teeth are wiggly, but like they're not wiggly at all.
They're not wiggly. Oh my gosh.
And I had the dentist check. Like the last time I went to the dentist, I was like, hey, like while y'all are back there, will you just kind of, you know, like feel on his teeth and see if they're, because I don't know what they're supposed to
wiggly.
feel like when they start getting loose, you know, like anybody I feel like could wiggle their tooth to like an extent. I mean, I feel like, but I don't know if that really means it's wiggly, you know? I mean, I don't know what it feels like when it starts. So I asked them and they were like, yeah, we'll check. And when she came out, the hygienist, she was like, yeah, like nothing's loose at all. And there's no sign of 6-year molars. So we're good. I'm like, okay. So
Aww.
Jackson will be the person that's 19 years old and still has braces. Bless his heart.
That's fine. I had braces as an adult, and I looked super childish. So I'd rather... You know what's crazy, though? So we have a little cousin who's 2 weeks apart from Isaac. And so they're about to be 9. And our cousin already has braces.
Really?
She's 8, yeah.
Has Isaac lost enough teeth to get braces?
So... He has, but they're going to wait until more... Like, I think that the problem with my cousin's teeth is that there's a little bit less space, and so they need to do this... she'll get braces twice, so she'll have them now, and then she'll lose more teeth, I'm assuming, and then they'll figure it out, and she'll have to get them again. Where Isaac's mouth, I think, is a little bigger, so they said that they'll wait until... Because Isaac will need braces, they said. So... I guess they can just wait for Isaac. But I was surprised. I guess I didn't know that they could put them on kids that young.
Wow. Yeah. No, I actually have talked about this with my mother-in-law before, about how, like, I really will not be able to stand, like, that phase of teeth because I'm so finicky about teeth and, like, oral hygiene and just... I'm so weird about it. And so it'll bother me. So I'm like, yeah, Jackson will probably be the person that has braces like 3 times because once he starts like getting teeth in and if they don't look good, then I'm going to like slap some braces on there.
Can we actually talk about that really fast? Just because anything involving your teeth is so fucking expensive. And I guess whenever Javi and I got divorced, I had to get on my own insurance, obviously, and it doesn't cover dental, so dental insurance would be separate, and then the dental insurance does not cover anything with orthodontics, with like braces, anything like that. But the dental insurance would have been $50 a month, but only covers up to $1,500. So if you have 3 freaking cavities, you're already at that $1,500, but you've probably, by the time you get the 3 cavities, you're already beyond the $1,500. I don't know. It just like wasn't worth it. So then, I just had said that I had braces as an adult. Well, braces are $6,000, and that's just on a 24-month plan. Not a whole lot of, you know, extra stuff with the braces. That's just like basic braces and rubber bands. That was what I was on. It was like 27-month plan. $6,000.
That's like
what in the actual fuck I feel like is so expensive. Like I had to go on a payment plan. I had to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, what about, and so when I was married to Javi, the orthodontics plan was only covered up until 19. So if someone doesn't have money up until they're like dental insurance is expensive. That's why I never got them as a kid. So when I was able to do it as an adult, I was like, okay, but this is still freaking expensive. Like $6,000, and insurance only might cover, if you do have insurance, it might only cover like a portion of that. And then like working in dental, I have the veneers on my teeth now, like just like knowing how much it costs. Like people can't afford to have like a nice like smile and stuff. That's really crazy to me.
And I hate that because I feel like that's the one thing that will cause somebody to be really self-conscious. And I feel like it is so expensive. And I just think about all of the kids that are going through, you know, puberty and losing teeth and, you know, not being able to afford braces and this and that. It's like, it's so sad and eye-opening whenever you kind of start, like, you know what it costs because you did it as an adult, so you know what you're kind of like dealing with. I only did Smile Direct, like where it's like Invisalign as an adult. So I did braces as a kid. But Smile Direct's nowhere near the cost of, like the metal braces or whatever, but it is so expensive. And think about the people that have multiple kids, like you, for example. At least yours will be staggered, so they're not all, going at the same time. But think about the people who have kids that are like a year apart that all need braces.
It blows my mind. It truly blows my mind. Like, people need small loans just to pay for braces. Like, I'm was shocked when I found that out, and I wish that I would have waited, but I didn't ever know I was going to have the opportunity to do Smile Direct. Otherwise, I would have done that. I know Javi did. He did something similar to that as an adult as well. But yeah, I know that was like completely off topic, but I was just blown away because I've been getting some dental work done, and also like the holidays and braces that came up. So, all right, you guys. So you spend 1/3 of your life in sheets, and this holiday season is a great time for a bedding upgrade for you or a loved one. I love getting into bed and feeling the luxury 5-star hotel sheets, and the fact is, it shouldn't be so difficult and expensive to have those at home.
That's where Brooklinen comes to the rescue. Their method, take out the middleman, keep things personal just between them and the customers. These sheets don't just feel great, but they look great too, with many different colors and materials to choose from. These sheets make a perfect Christmas or housewarming gift, and with super fast shipping, you can be sure that your gift gets where it's going on time.
Brooklinen has an old-fashioned quality spirit despite totally modernizing an old industry. I love Brooklinen because all the fabrics feel so nice. You can mix and match colors, or you can do solid white, which I love. And honestly, I've been giving them as gifts for Christmas.
My Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on. Now it's time for your upgrade. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Get $20 off and free shipping when you use promo code COFFEE at brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use promo code COFFEE at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, promo code COFFEE. Brooklinen, these really are the best sheets ever.
I wanted to tell you really quick. So I had Isaac. I'm struggling really, really bad. I think I've said it several times for what to get Isaac. So I asked him for Christmas. So I asked him to make me another Christmas list, which he put 6 things on it. Pokemon cards, Roblox toys, PS4, clothes, books, and shoes. And he put, true note, Mom, I'll be good. Love, Isaac. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's hilarious that at the bottom of the note, he wrote, I'll be good.
Like, and he put like a smiley face and a heart, and he wrote love, Isaac, with like the O and love was a heart. So I'm like, obviously, I'm going to hold you to this note.
Yeah. You're going to be accountable. Can we just talk for a second about this thing I saw about Pine Sol?
Oh my God, what? Because I love Pine Sol, and what are you about to say?
I know you do.
I'm upset already.
It's nothing bad, like, against Pine Sol. But it happened in Honolulu, and students at a, preschool there were accidentally served Pine Sol after a classroom assistant, mistook it for apple juice. The assistant thought that the Pine Sol was apple juice, and it was on a kitchen cart while preparing snacks, and she just picked it up and filled. Okay.
There's 2 problems with that. One, the careless person who put it on the cart in the first place. That facility, that school, whatever the fuck it was, should be sued, because if someone's I don't care if it was an accident. You served my kid Pine Sol, you should be fired and you should be sued. Number 2, Pine Sol is so strong. When you take that cap off, you smell the Pine Sol. I don't give a single shit. You literally smell it as soon as you take the cap off. So that's my second problem, and I want to know how she didn't smell it.
Well, exactly. Pine Sol is a very potent smell.
Distinct smell too. Yeah, it's Pine Sol.
And the state health department said that about a dozen people accidentally ingest Pine Sol each year, and about half of the 12 are children. I just don't see how that becomes an accident. And I don't see how on a food service cart there would be Pine Sol on the food service cart anyway.
I thought like she accidentally pulled it out of the fridge. That was my mental image at first. But who like they obviously put it on the food cart. Maybe they thought it was apple juice, but also an apple juice label looks nothing like Pine Sol. A Pine Sol, like just the bottle itself doesn't look like apple juice. Like, yeah, I guess the color, but Pine Sol is like green and yellow and it's usually round. I know there's different sizes and shapes and stuff, but also you just know, like when you take the cap off, it doesn't matter.
I was just appalled. When I saw it said Pine Sol, I was like, oh my God, this is like Kail written all over it.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I love Pine Sol. I have it in the house, and I've never had any of my children ingest Pine Sol, so I just feel like that's a mistake on so many levels.
So many levels. And then I wanted to talk about some things that we had gotten on the Instagram and just kind of give our opinions on it. Not that they really mean anything, but there was just some interesting stuff that I saw, and I was like, wow, that's very interesting and interesting takes on things. Remember how we were talking about a few episodes ago about being like the main chick or, you know, like whatever. Okay. So we get a message that says, I'm listening to the bonus podcast and I totally see the point in marriage, but I'm also in an open relationship. Humans are not fully monogamous mammals, but when our parents grew up, grandparents, whatever, there was cheating. They just chose to ignore it. Open relationships are different than allowing someone to cheat on you. Cheating occurs when boundaries are crossed. If communication and honesty is in your relationship and you both are in support of boundaries, that is not cheating. Now, I'm not saying my boyfriend goes and sleeps with other women all the time. No, not the case. We would prefer bringing another person to join us. But I don't feel as though I'm settling. We are happier and have more trust in each other than ever before, but there are no side chicks. Maybe that just gives you a better understanding. I'm in full support of how others choose to manage their relationships as long as everyone is being respectful and respected. Love the podcast.
See, you know what's so freaking crazy? I literally had a whole conversation about this yesterday, and I do agree with her. For some families, for some people, I could see how that works, and I do think that I could make that work. It really depends on my partner. Like if I, you know, when I was with Javi, obviously that would have never been allowed. But if, you know, with Chris, like maybe that would have worked. Had we had those types of conversations and stuff like that. And it's so crazy that we got that message because I could see how that is a thing. It would also have to be people that you're bringing in with you guys. It would I feel like for myself, it would have to be someone that I don't feel there would be the formulation of a relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, right. The possibility of this person becoming a mistress or a side chick. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I feel like anytime you open that door, then there's a risk of that.
Right. I guess I could see that. I'm not against open relationships. I'm not saying that is wrong at all by any means. I think for some families or people it works better than for others.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it works for you, then it works for you. That doesn't work for me. So, yeah, that just would not be a thing.
I think I could do it with with a certain partner, I could do that, but with others, I couldn't. It would depend who I was married to or with long term.
A threesome, like just like bring like another person in and then that person leave and then you're still like in the relationship with the other person. Is that how it works?
I mean, I've done that.
Yeah, see, I could not. Like, I could freaking not.
But then that person never had relations with him ever again. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
They were never a factor in our relationship. I never had to worry about him cheating with her. Like, that wasn't a thing. So it worked, and then it was done, and then we still went about our relationship.
Wow.
So, like, I could do that. I think I could do, I don't know, but I couldn't bring, like, an ex-girlfriend in and do that. Like, I couldn't ever do that.
Yeah, see, that would be weird. I just feel
that would be a boundary that I wouldn't allow.
Yeah, you would not be comfortable with. See, for me, that would never be a thing. It's like a one-person thing, and then that's it.
Yeah, and I think that depending on who I'm with, that would be a thing for me as well.
But I think that every person is different, and there's no right or wrong way. You know, like I agree. Although I will say, like, even in the discussions that we've had about it, like I have thought back to like my grandparents, and I'm not saying that they didn't ever cheat, but like I would be curious to know if they did, and if they found out, what would they do? Did they truly ignore it, or did they fight about it, or did they just not get caught? Like my grandparents were married for almost, I want to say 50 years, over 50 years. So, no divorce, 4 kids together. They've been through some shit. And they were just, from what I saw, happy until my grandfather passed away. So I would be curious to know, like, was there cheating? And I don't, because, yeah, I mean, obviously humans are not meant to be truly, like, fully monogamous. But I think once you find that one person, like, you eventually settle down. Now, in an open relationship, do you eventually just settle down with that person, or do you just continually have someone come in to the home? But is this like threesome thing like a swingers thing, or like no?
Oh, see, I don't think I could do swinging. I don't think I could do swinging at all. That's not something that I don't think that I could. No, I would not. No.
How does that actually
I'm not saying
work?
I think I saw it on the ID channel once. Like
of course you did.
I would be curious to know if any of our listeners are swingers, because I would love to hear about it. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything. I just personally don't know that I could do it. So I saw this on the ID channel. I don't know how accurate it was, but basically these swingers met through like online forums, and they would go to like parties and stuff. And then you just meet people and you switch. Like you switch partners.
But see, to me, that's cheating.
But it's not
cheating
because
you're doing
it. Right, but I guess it's like one-time thing or like a 2-time thing, and then you're done.
I guess it makes it okay whenever all parties involved are involved.
I think where it starts to get sticky is like when one develops relationship feelings for another person, or they're doing it behind the other one's back, or stuff like that. And that's how it ended up on the ID channel. Like the man convinced his wife to be a swinger, and then she ended up falling for another guy.
Yeah, I would be totally interested. If anybody is listening to this and you are a swinger,
maybe we should have him on the podcast.
Just want to know about this. And would you be interested in hearing from somebody who actively participates in swinging to kind of get a better knowledge of it? Because I feel like people who are on the outside of swinging, there's a lot of things that we don't know because we don't participate, right. Or like you said, misunderstand things. Because I don't know, like I just know that wouldn't be something that I would do just because I just wouldn't, but that doesn't make it wrong. You know, like if you're doing it and you're having fun with it, more power to you. Your relationship's not my business. But yeah, if you're listening and you do participate in swinging, or I guess call yourself a swinger, then send us a message. We will not expose your name. Just give us some information because we want to know.
I want to know if any of my friends are swingers that I don't know about. Because I feel like that's probably, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just nosy.
Would people tell us, though, like, if we asked, is that, like, something that people are forthcoming with? Like, yeah, I swing.
Oh, good point. Like, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. Huh.
I don't know, like, so many questions on this. So many questions. And then the next person that sent a message on a completely different note says, "Hey ladies, I have a situation that I'd like your opinion on. My oldest, who is 7, his father and I are no longer together and haven't been my son's whole life. His dad is almost impossible to co-parent with. I have to bite my tongue a lot to try to keep the peace for the sake of my son. We have joint legal and I have primary physical custody. He went to his dad's house for a usual visit Thursday after school and spent the night when I picked my son up from school Friday afternoon. His usual gorgeous dark locks were now bleached blonde. I barely recognized my own kid. No one ever mentioned to me about bleaching his hair ever. I was furious. I texted his dad and expressed how upset and disrespected I felt that he made such a major decision without even consulting me. His response made things worse, and he got pissed off at my son. He said he promised that he would take responsibility for it if you were upset. Not sure how to handle the situation, so I'd love some advice from you guys, please.
Okay. So, how did she say how old the son was? 7?
7.
A 7-year-old, to me, in my home, is not old enough to make those kinds of decisions himself. So if at 7 years old he can't bleach his own hair, the parent is responsible. And I feel like you don't put that type of, oh yeah, I'll bleach your hair, but you're going to take responsibility to your mom for your mom, to your mom when you go back. No, absolutely not. He needs to take full accountability. And I don't feel as though he should have allowed his son at 7 years old to bleach his hair. And she has every right to be upset. And I feel like something like that, if the child is not old enough to make those types of decisions, that should be lined up in the custody order that says, until the child is of age to make such choices, they shouldn't be allowed. It's not like he cut his hair and it'll grow back. He full on bleached his hair. That's a chemical. Where did you go to get this done? Did you do it yourself? He's 7. No 7-year-old should bleach their hair.
I agree. Actually, when I read this message, it kind of took me back from when Will and I were separated. And I thought about all of this stuff. Like, what would it be like if I picked Jackson up from a weekend and he had got a buzz cut or had been to the dentist and, I didn't know, or, just random stuff. If he was wearing clothes with, stuff on it that I didn't approve of or whatever. It's things that are completely taken out of your control. And I guess I need to be a little bit better about control and realizing that stuff is just hair or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like I'm the mom. And so certain things I feel like we should have the say, not anything negative to dads, but I don't know, that's your son, and I know that it's a joint child. I get that, but it's just so hard being a mom and not being involved in those decisions. But in a true co-parenting situation, I feel like that is something absolutely that should be communicated. And I mean, Jackson's only a year away from being 7 years old, and I can tell you right now, he is not getting bleach in his hair when he's 7 years old.
I agree. For all my kids, I agree. And I have an almost 9-year-old. And I feel like that's something that, yes, it is only hair. But bleaching your child's hair affects the child and the parent at both homes. So it's not it's he did something, that his mom typically wouldn't allow, and it only happened and it only affects him at dad's house. That's going to affect both households. And I don't even feel like the child should be held responsible for it because, while the child might have wanted his hair bleached, he's not old enough to make that decision. So dad should have said, no, you don't put the blame then on the child. So
it's not the dad dropped him off at the mall and he went to a hair salon in the mall.
Bleached. Yeah. Right. So, and then the other issue is to get mad at the child at 7 years old for not taking the blame. That's the other parenting. It sounds like the father is a real problem, not in just co-parenting, but in just lack of accountability in life. Because, that's just stupidity and ignorance.
What kind of person just puts it off on a 7-year-old kid? Oh,
to take the blame.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do this. But when your mom gets mad, it's on you.
No. He's not 15.
Yeah, exactly. It's not his mom said he can't go to the movies and dad's well, I don't see a problem with it. You're at my house. I make the rules. I'm going to drop you off at the movies.
You can explain it to your mom later.
Yeah. But at 7 years old, I feel like anything that I allow Jackson to do. If Will doesn't agree with it, then that becomes my responsibility to take accountability for whatever that is as the parent.
But it's hard because it's like now the kid's got bleached hair. Yeah, it'll grow out or you can cut it off, whatever the case is. But moving forward, how do you even address that in co-parenting? Because either you're going to just agree to disagree, but then nothing changes, or you work on it and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Like, I mean, aside from maybe outlining it in a custody agreement, which would cost money, it's like, what can you really do? It's like the one time, let me not tell this story. I'll tell it. For Halloween, it said that I get Lincoln for X amount of hours for Halloween, and Javi didn't agree with it. He wanted to come with. We're arguing this, that, and the third, and it's like, but at the end of the day, like, if we're not agreeing, we're just not agreeing, and next year it'll happen again. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that we can really do about the argument, or if Javi decided to just not give me Lincoln for Halloween, what was I really going to do? That's the sucky part of co-parenting and custody agreements, because, yeah, we could discuss it on the podcast and how shitty we think that was, but what can she really do about it? It sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. Co-parenting, I feel like, would just suck altogether. And I'm so thankful that
you don't have to do it.
I did not have to do it. And I thank God every single day. Like, thank you for bringing me back to where I needed to be, because this is the best thing for not only just me, but for my child too. And, you know, there's a lot of things we don't co-parent, but there's a lot of things that we do disagree on, and it's hard within the house. I can't imagine doing it in separate households. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I get it. And especially when, partners move on, they have other children, or they bring, you know, they have blended families now. I mean, V and Joe have a child, Lauren and Javi have a child. Like, they want to do their own traditions, they have their own types of values and stuff like that. But it's, it gets really difficult.
And you've got to think too, like, you know, you mentioned the part about moving on. With moving on, that comes a second opinion, right? So that other person is going to be goading that person along to say, you know, well, this is how you feel, so you should really stick behind it. And this is, you know, just because she feels this way doesn't mean that you have to succumb to whatever she, you know, wants you to do or what she thinks is best, you know? So you've got all of these factors playing into raising one child, and I'm just not about it. It's like, okay, everybody just needs to sit down and just do what's in the best interest of the child and not think about yourself. And it's so much easier said than done, because I'm not in the situation. Like, I know if I was in the situation, I would be petty.
Oh, yeah. And it's hard to not be petty. And a lot of times it's like working through the pettiness and the bitterness. Even if you don't have feelings for that other person, it's like, it's a lot harder to agree or not want to be petty when you want your kid for something. Like, obviously Javi wanted Lincoln for Halloween when he always was used to spending Halloween with him. You know what I mean? Or now, like I have said a million times on the podcast, like Joe and V or Javi and Lauren might want their kids for holidays to be with their kids in their families, but it's my holiday. So now I'm going to do, you know, I want to have my kids for my holiday. So they're going to be bitter or petty, or I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they might. It's always a possibility. So I don't know. It's hard. Co-parenting is rough.
I think that's all we have time for today. I'm about to head out to the assisted living, so I will definitely get back to you guys on how that goes. Thanks to everybody who came out to the Christmas party. We really appreciated the support and enjoyed spending time with you guys. If you have not followed us on @Coffee Convos Podcast on Instagram, make sure you follow us on there. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.